Alright, what's good? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Google Pixel Fold and what I think nobody is talking about. So let's get into it. Alright, first things first, the design has been revealed. You know, a lot of creators have been invited by Google to go and see the Pixel Fold and all the other Pixel devices in person. And, you know, we see the design fully now. We don't have to rely on the leaks. We know what it looks like, and the creators are talking about what it feels like. The biggest thing for me that is kind of alarming that no creator is talking about is the software change. I mean, from what we've seen in the videos, we can kind of tell that the software hasn't really changed that much. It looks basically identical. And for me, this is the most concerning thing about the Pixel Fold 9 Pro. I feel like personally, the Google Pixel Fold 1, the original one, was really good. I actually enjoyed it a lot. I like the form factor. I like the size, the small outer display, and I had no problems with the performance. It didn't really slow down. It didn't really stutter. It didn't really glitch. I could play all the games that I normally play on phones, so I had no issues with the performance and the specs. However, most of my issues with that phone were with the software. In terms of multitasking, for a big foldable display, foldable screen, there's not really that many multitasking options. Like, the way that you get into the split screen is kind of tedious compared to other foldable phones. You gotta drag and drop every single time. The way that the taskbar works is very limited compared to other foldable phones. And it was just like a very watered down basic version of multitasking, and it worked. It was fine. You know, not everybody likes to go crazy with multitasking or even cares about the extra features, which is cool for those people. But for me, when it comes to software on a big foldable screen, you know, a big display like a tablet, I feel like the software needs to just be better in terms of utilizing that space and that screen. Like, for example, no app pairs. I know this is something that is supposedly coming with the newest Android update, but like, the fact that there was no app pairs shows you like how much time and thought they were putting into like the actual foldable phone form factor, you know, instead of just like kind of taking Android and then blowing it up to a bigger device. So the most concerning thing to me about the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is that the software looks like it's exactly the same, and that is kind of unfortunate. So let's actually look at some of the footage from, you know, these other videos and like talk about what we see and what we can notice. All right, so I'm gonna put on some footage and I'm gonna slow it down to 0.5 speed and then pause it and stuff. So actually, when I first saw this design, I was really disappointed with this right here. Honestly, I was super shocked. Like, how could Google put out something that looks like this? And just the hinge, it just, I don't know, bro. I'm not feeling that. And then the camera module as well. When I saw the leaks, I was like, bro, this looks bad. This looks really bad. Like, sure, people got the big outer display that they wanted on this phone, but I was thinking, bro, the camera module looks like doo-doo. Like, what is this? But actually seeing it a couple of times in different videos and photos and stuff like that, I think it looks a lot better than my initial impressions. I feel like this device is shaping up to look like a decent looking device, especially in the porcelain color, as you can see here. It doesn't look too bad, you know, and maybe it'll even look better in person. And yeah, the porcelain color just, it looks so much better than the black one, in my opinion. I feel like the porcelain just accentuates the shape and everything that Google created with this phone. And also, I guess the design, when it opens up, the hinge parts, like the sharp corners, come together and it kind of evens out. But you're not looking at that part, I guess, when you're using the big screen anyways. But I will say it does look better than I thought it actually looked. So looking at the home screens on both of them, this is the original Pixel Fold. This is the new Pixel 9 Pro Fold. That's a crazy name for a phone. But at the top, as you can see, we still have this at a glance widget. And then we still got the search bar at the bottom as well. That is how it's been on Pixel phones forever. Like, maybe the option to get rid of these two things are there in the new software, but honestly, there's nothing to go by, and nobody has mentioned it. Maybe they're not allowed to, I don't know. But if you cannot remove this widget and you cannot remove this search bar, then that is just honestly unfortunate, because although some people might enjoy those things, the limitation, the fact that a widget is stuck to your home screen is insane to me. Like, it's a foldable phone especially. We'll get to the home screen soon, but this is a good comparison of the two. So this is the original Pixel Fold and then the new Pixel Fold. And you can see how in the native orientation, the original Pixel Fold is in landscape, so it shows more information, which is a difference that you should note. And then it has the thicker bezels, of course. Personally, I like the thicker bezels because you can hold on to them. However, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold has some decent bezels that look like they're holdable as well, kind of comparable to the sides of the Pixel Fold. You have that square shape of the new Pixel Fold. It's kind of like the OnePlus Open, especially with the camera in the top right. Now we have the home screen, and this is what I'm talking about. It seems like the home screen is still mirrored, so the cover display and the inner display have the same home screen, so you cannot turn it off like you could on Samsung devices. And then also it's like blocky, right? So you have this section and then you have this section, so it's essentially two of the cover displays in one on the big screen. And then you still have your search bar, you still have your at-a-glance widget, and you cannot remove those things. That's what it seems like. And then it seems like the taskbar also works the same. You got recommended apps for the slot that are not used in the taskbar. So yeah, it seems like the software is essentially the same, unfortunately. Don't get me wrong, I know that people love the Pixel software the way it is, and people love that Pixel experience, and I do too to some extent. But come on, bro, this is a foldable phone. It's more expensive than the regular phones, almost 2 times the price. Like, we need a little bit more on the software side. Like, I feel like that's where Samsung is kind of winning, because, you know, people have said that this is the same phone, the Z Fold 6, but at least with the Z Fold 6 and the Z Folds in general, the software side is met. Like, there's so many features, so many capabilities. I feel like Samsung genuinely takes advantage of this big screen a lot more than most companies. Like, you can adjust the taskbar to whatever you want. You know, you can 2-finger swipe to go into split screen very easily from any side of the screen, very quickly, very easily. You got app pairs from the beginning. You have floating windows accessible very quickly, like this. You got notifications into floating windows or split screen. Like, Samsung just takes advantage of this big screen. And then of course, on Samsung devices, you got your triple split. That's something that not every foldable phone can do. The OnePlus Open can do that kind of with the open canvas. And even the OnePlus Open takes advantage of the screen more than the Pixel Fold. And it looks like the Pixel 9 Pro Fold as well. So it's kind of disappointing that the 9 Pro Fold is not delivering more on the software end, as far as we know yet. And yo, I just remembered a big thing too. Does the Pixel 9 Pro even have floating windows, bro? That's like a basic Android feature that a lot of Android phones have. And if the Pixel 9 Pro doesn't have floating windows, then I really don't know what Google is doing, bro, on the software side. This is a huge screen. People are saying 8 inches better than the 7.6 inches on the Z Fold 6. And if you can't do floating windows, that's just a letdown, man. Even on the regular Pixel 9s and Pixel 9 Pro, there should be floating windows. There should be easily accessible split screen. That's just like basic stuff, bro. But if there is still no floating windows, then I really don't know what to say. That's just a missed opportunity, because look at this screen real estate, man. An 8-inch screen, you're telling me you can't have a little pop-up window that you can access wherever you want and manipulate, change the size of it, do different things like the OnePlus Open? Like, come on, bro. But yeah, the software experience looks basically like the original Pixel Fold. It's just a different screen, you know, slightly updated specs. And this brings another question, another thought of mine. So let me switch the camera. My other thought is that I find it kind of interesting because nobody is saying it's the same device, like how they were saying for the Z Fold 6 and even the Z Fold 5. And I know, like, of course it looks different, it's bigger and this and that. Like, outside it changed, but I mean, like, every phone changes slightly outside, and like it's a matter of preference. Like, yeah, the new Pixel Fold is longer, it's more like a normal smartphone screen, whatever, bigger screen on the inside. But essentially, if it's the same like we've seen in these videos so far, then it's really like the same phone, just repackaged with, you know, slightly updated specs, exactly like we've seen with other devices like the Z Fold 6 and other flagship phones, like year to year. I just find it interesting that nobody is like pointing it out. Nobody is saying like, you know, like Google needs to do more or whatever. I don't know, the same criticisms that you have for Samsung. I don't care like about criticizing these companies, bro. Like, they need to do better in general, and you know, criticize where it makes sense. But I feel like we should be fair when we're criticizing everyone. Like, you know, you can't just say like, oh, this person is doing this, but then the other person does exactly that, but then we're not complaining about it, you know, we're not talking about it, we're not pointing it out like how we did before. So I just find it kind of interesting, like, and it's kind of funny, like, is just a new look enough to satisfy people? Like, just making it slightly different, or giving it a remodeled camera module, giving it a bigger screen, is that enough to satisfy people's needs when they say like, oh, not enough has changed? Like, you know, is it psychological? If we're gonna talk about change and innovation and stuff like that, then I feel like it goes deeper than just the outside appearance and even the specs. And I know that the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, whatever, will be more powerful, more efficient, and maybe hopefully better battery life, because Google actually reduced the battery size from the original Pixel Fold, which doesn't make sense. And you know, nobody's saying like, you know, anything about that. I know the phone's not out yet, but like when we had the leaks about the Z Fold 6, everybody was, you know, super annoyed, creators and people on Reddit and online and stuff like that. So the criticism and the inconsistency between that just doesn't make sense to me. Overall though, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, I think it looks nice, and I'm excited to see it in person hopefully and try it maybe, but I really hope there's more to the software than what we've seen so far. Like, it can't just be like a Pixel tablet or the original Pixel Fold in terms of software. Like, we need more features. We need more ability to take advantage of that big screen. Otherwise, like, I don't know. Some people, a lot of people are gonna be happy for sure. Some people only use one screen. They only want a bigger phone to see things easier. They only want to do split screen with 2 apps, and they don't mind the process that Pixels have for split screening. But man, the world is so much bigger out there. Like, and I'm talking about Samsung. There's other foldable phones too that do these things. So anyways, that's my thoughts on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. That's all for now. We out. Peace.